This is Water Elemental
with Jolly Green,
and we're actually talking about the new Hex sealed mode. We're not actually using real gameplay footage because that was horrible.
Yes, it's more buggy than anything that I have currently played on Hex, and that's saying something. But what do you expect? We played it yesterday. It came out yesterday. But it
was a blast while we drafted.
It was fun. Like, the draft actually seemed to work. Like, it's seamless. It's much better than having, well, I guess, opening the packs of cards is a lot of fun. But if you've ever played MTGO, it's a lot like that, where you just get the pool of cards.
It's just thrown at you. It slowly loads in.
Yeah, and you could sort them by color, you could sort them by type, artifact, rarity, all that. And it makes it very easy to decide, what am I going to play?
You just start, you remove all the colors, and then you just start going through one by one to see which one you have the highest pool
I know
of,
I'm kind of a noob, but first thing I do is I eliminate the commons and uncommons, and I look at my rares and my legendaries and my epics.
Well, the rares and legendaries actually can make a difference, because there are some that are just so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, the power level between rares and uncommons and commons, it's just amazing how the rares are just like, yep, gotta have 4 of those. Which, the secondary market's going to suffer for that, I believe. But, yeah, I don't know. Deck building, they give you 20 minutes to build a deck, and I only needed, 12.
It was a rush when you first got all the cards, because you're like, okay, just panicking. Cause it was
I still had to read a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards I haven't seen that they patched in from this patch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's this card do? Oh, that card does...
One thing I loved doing was socketing all... Oh, I got half a dozen that ended up in my deck of socketable minor and then 2 socketable majors. And it was a lot of fun deciding, what's going to go with this deck? Flying, speed, I mean, what do I want? It was a blast making the deck.
And it gives you that kind of... You have to also consider which champion you want to play while you're making a deck. It's I could go blue artifacts, because that would work really well. Or I can go blue mill, because we only have 40 cards in your deck. So, your champion actually makes a huge difference. It was really fun.
The deck I got to make, it was red and blue, and it used artifacts. I had a decent artifact pool, and I had a red rare dwarf that plays off of
the one that
artifacts.
Upgrades.
Yeah, the one that upgrades the robots, and I had the blue one that I think drew cards. But yeah, it was a lot of fun making the deck, and I had a lot of artifacts and a lot of good synergy. But I clicked the save button, and just a bunch of buggy crap happens, and long story short, I wasn't able to actually play my game.
To make you feel better, I found out what happened was the guy dropped out of the tournament, and it wasn't able to pair you with anybody because it pre-pairs you before it. So we were stuck like that.
He didn't like his pool, dropped out, and left me hanging and bugged the whole thing out for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For me, I actually got to play a first round, and then because someone else dropped out, they couldn't finish the match, so we couldn't finish the tournament. I got to play my first game, and from there, it was you play your game, gets your opponent, and then you're brought back to your deck building mode. It doesn't say that they're best 2 out of 3, it says single elimination, so you're like, okay, so I'm going to probably play against someone else. So I kind of did some things, and then I went back to play it. I'm like, okay, so best 2 out of 3. And it gives you 2 minutes, and in that time, you could probably change your whole deck. And you can change the color base, and you could probably do everything except for change your hero. Your hero stays the same. So you can go in, and you're
fine. I mean, you can side deck. That's what side decking is.
Well, you can do more than 15 cards. You can just be like, okay, I'm just going to remove all this.
That's the way it is limited with Magic.
Yeah, but you
can use your entire card pool.
Yeah, but a lot of people get angry at you. Have you noticed? Every time I would try to change colors, they would get well, that's really unsportsmanlike.
A lot of it's the stupid rules of the game. Who cares?
It's that unsung rule of the draft.
No, man. But yeah, 40-card deck as standard. I just love this game. To me, it does feel so similar to Magic. But that's great because I played Magic for such a long time. The transition is not hard at all.
It's just learning the new cards, and that's half the fun. When you get a new set. You do
that with every set in Magic anyway, so who cares? You're just starting fresh this time.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff they should add to it is some animation showing that you're opening packs. At least give you that kind of...
Well, we're in alpha, so it's not going to look polished. I'm not worried about that.
Well, I'm just saying...
I'm worried about the mechanics right now. Gameplay first, as far as I'm concerned.
I kind of want something like that in the end. I'm just saying what we want. I also, as a mechanical thing, I want a way to remove bad cards out of the pool so I can sort through them and get rid of the whole color. kind of like mark them and then show remove all marked cards, and then that will just kind of hide them for you.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
That way, it's like, okay, well, I got a bunch of blue dwarves. I didn't want to have to sort through every 2 minutes.
Yep, I got a 1-2 for 3. That's awesome. I am never going to play this.
Does he have any effects? No.
And he's got a threshold of 3 red. I don't think so, Jim. Not gonna happen.
Oh man, what happens if you get like a Titan at the 6 cost with 6 green threshold? You're just
But
like,
I guess you're playing mono green, huh?
there's no way you could probably do that. So you're just like,
You might have to build around that guy. Crushing Titan is amazing.
But any cards that you think would be really, really overpowered in this deck format?
Anything that's really aggressive, really durable.
Yes, I saw that a lot of really fast, like 1 cost 2 ones would come into play against my opponent. But the thing is, if you build around escalation, like or build against really fast stuff, he'd pin it out by turn 5, and then I had the board control every game.
If you have enough control, I really believe that blue-black mill, could be pretty decent.
Especially with escalation.
Yeah, and you're dealing with a 40-card pool, and there's so much mill in this first set that just looks so crispy, you know?
Nick's the champion. Mill 2. Okay, 2 turns from now. Mill 2. 2 turns from now. Mill 2.
Yeah, it's...
Get a buoy trap in there.
Because... I don't know. It just seems like it would be really good. But that's just my thoughts. Red seems really good.
Black with the control is ridiculous.
White just doesn't seem all that great.
I did really well with white. Mainly because I had the life gain and I had such huge walls. And they have a lot of spell shield.
I've never been a fan of life gain because it's not a win condition. I don't know. It just doesn't.
It saved my life, but I can't say it was like my win condition. My win condition was the green cards in my deck that kind of swung in.
That's what you splash for.
But yeah, that's pretty much like everything about the sealed. Like, hopefully they can fix the.
Even though I didn't get to play, I really can't wait to play it. I can't. It's going to be so much fun, and just the possibilities. Like, limited mode is going to be my bread and butter for this game. Because
Mine too.
I get a free year of drafts.
Well, and
I'm a week.
I'm okay. Depending on the price point for it, I'd be okay every now and again. It's like, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to play in a draft tournament.
I can see how that gets expensive, though.
Yeah.
If it's your primary form of entertainment, then you are in for...
Yeah, but a lot of people do that in Hearthstone. They pay like $2-3 to do arenas, which are... But you can also pay for those with in-game money.
You know what I would like? I would like the ability... You know how, like, in Steam, you can sell those bonus cards back on the market and get Steam credit? I kind of want that ability in this game.
Kind of like the
so you could sell it back to the open market, or at least list it on the open market, sell it for credit, and then go draft.
Yeah,
like go do a sealed.
You get like a really good card in your like PvP like draft. You're just like, well, I could sell this card. I'm probably never going to use.
If they have an in-game secondary market, that would be great. But I also want an outside secondary market because I don't know. You might want to sell your cards for real money. I mean, in MTGO, it happens all the time.
We actually had we have a story about that about MTGO.
When we started first playing Magic, Water Elemental needed a card for his deck for the Junior Super Series. This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, the Junior Super Series, I got second to last place because I didn't know that, like, a format rules.
Yeah, so his deck was just absolute jank. But he wanted a card from it, so he buys Scion of Darkness on eBay, but he didn't notice that it said MTGO.
It didn't say MTG on the page. It didn't.
What?
The guy ripped us off.
Well, still, long story short, he bought an online card, and he got screwed. But it was only like $6?
$5.
It was freaking Scion of Darkness. No one played that dumb card.
Hey, it won me a lot of games. Meaning one.
This guy was obsessed with clerics for some reason.
Dude, I'm building a cleric deck in Hex, man.
Yeah,
Back off. I'm making it work.
It's gonna happen. I swear.
I swear.
Hey.
Paladins, closest thing to Paladins.
But yeah, yesterday it was a lot of fun, even though I didn't get to play. It was frustrating after I built my deck, and I'm like, I want to play a game because it would kept teasing me. I ult F4, get back in the game. It's like, you want to rejoin your game in progress? I'm like, yes. And then I get down there, and it's just like waiting. Oh well, my opponent's clock is ticking. That's neat, but I can't do anything. I ended up winning that match by default.
Yeah, he won 2-1.
Didn't play a single stupid card, but
the thing is, though, because of that one guy that didn't finish their match, we didn't actually get to see anything past that.
No,
and we were playing with a dev too.
I know. Well, there's tons of them.
Yeah, but still, that's always kind of fun. It's like, hey, I played with him back in Alpha. What are you going to say?
Well, I mean, they probably play against each other so much. They're like, I want to play against somebody that's not a professional card game player. Give me a scrub every once in a while, you know?
Yeah, and he won 2-0. He did.
Yeah.
He wrecked the guy. So I'm just like, it was going to be you and I, by the way, going against each other, and that would have been fun. But
that would have been fun. Like every other tournament we've ever gone to, we ended up playing each other.
That's the curse.
Yeah, well.
Out of 100 people in a pool, like first round when we go check the list,
oh yeah,
we're right next to each other. It says we're at the same table. We're just like, come on.
We'd go to a major tournament like a Grand Prix or a States, and we'd still end up playing each other.
And I kind of, he's always the better player of the two, so I always kind of, because he always, like, I could have the better deck, but he can always see that combo 2 turns ahead that I can't.
Yeah, but you've got luck as far as limited goes. You were a great drafter, even though you had no idea what the heck you were doing.
Woo!
And you were great at sealed.
WoW Seal is probably like the best thing ever because everybody else is like, oh, I'm gonna do. I'm like, well, I have the most of this. I'm gonna make a deck out of it.
But watching this kid play Constructed, I have so many memories of just standing behind him watching the game. He's got the win in hand. I remember. Okay, there was this game called Versus System. Right? It was card games. It was a card game about comic books. So. You had the main DC storyline, you had the main Marvel storyline, and
Hellboy.
They eventually added Hellboy, but it was mostly DC and Marvel, and he's playing a deck that's centralized around the Teen Titans.
Remember, the only reason I wanted to play that deck was because I like Teen Titans?
But I don't know why I let him play that deck, because it was one of the most technically complicated decks of any card game I've ever seen. And
because it had Cyborg.
He was wrecking this guy, and he had the win on the board, and he's got 3 cards called Heroic Sacrifice. And instead of just swinging in for the win, he'd think he'd be all cocky and just stand there and go,
because I didn't see the win.
It's your turn, go ahead. And so he lets him attack him, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to play this card. And he's like, okay, you still lose. No, I'm going to play it again. Okay, you still lose. I'm going to play a third one. Okay, well, you won. Great. Congratulations. And I'm just sitting there pulling my hair out.
And everybody else from the shop was just like, I hate this kid so much.
Because it looked like you were just being a jackass. From third-party perspective, you were just being a cocky little biatch. So,
because I did my math wrong. And I thought I didn't win.
You? Not good at math?
Shocker!
I am aghast!
But that's the story of why I'm better at sealed.
Because you could just win off a luck in sealed.
Hey, it takes actually, like, to learn the combos with bad cards, it takes a while. Everybody can play the net deck, which is everybody playing the white deck right now.
Yeah.
Hex.
I play red-green, man. I crush everybody with red-green.
Yeah, because everybody's playing that blue-white deck, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, that's our thoughts on sealed plus traumatic stress memories.
I hope you hated this show.
Aw. See you guys next time.